So today it's John Williams, his score for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Now this film is just recently opening in theatres across the world and it's not doing very well. People are discontented with it, so much so that they've started to come up with alternate titles for it. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Disappointment, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Dysentery, Indiana Jones and the Insufferable Feminist, for it does contain woke elements, most notably in the inclusion of Phoebe Waller-Bridge's title character, well, not title character, but her character Elena, who is unlikable and a bit of a girl boss and something of a replacement for Indiana Jones, it would seem, that they're moving towards, a little bit like how Rey took over the Skywalker franchise. Well, that's Kathleen Kennedy for you. And indeed, recently, Steven Spielberg congratulated 3 people on the stage: George Lucas for creating Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford for playing Indiana Jones, and John Williams for tying it all together. Miss Kennedy didn't like that too much, but then why would he mention her? Well, there was no reason to. She had next to nothing to do with the creation of it. She didn't play the part and she didn't write the music. But anyway, what about the music for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny? Well, when it first starts out, it's something like The English Patient by Gabriel Yared. There are even little shades of Thomas Newman's The Good German. So it's quite ultra serious and, dare I say, a little bit on the melancholy side, which Williams has tapped into in the past. Indeed, once you get to the version of Helena's theme at the end, which is for violin and orchestra, it could be lifted straight out of Schindler's List. I have to admit, the darker stuff, the more serious music of John Williams, like for Munich, Schindler's List and so on, isn't really my cup of tea. I respect it, sure, but it's not something I'll regularly play. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes before we hear the iconic Indiana Jones theme, and it's nice, but there's not a lot of it here. Far more we have of Elena's theme, which is okay, but let me tell you, once you hear Marion's theme, Marion, who's the character from the Raiders of the Lost Ark, the difference in quality is huge, and I almost wish that there was more of that theme than Elena's, but that's not what this movie is. And so we have a score which occasionally taps into some of Williams' work that's not Indiana Jones, War of the Worlds. Some people have even mentioned that they could hear elements from 1941, Minority Report, Harry Potter. And, well, yeah, in style and approach, I guess Williams is writing what he knows, basically. It's not a groundbreaking or excellent score by any stretch of the imagination. It's occasionally classy. The action sequences, especially Tuk Tuk in Tangiers, was quite good. But one of the major problems with this album, especially in the middle section, is that it just goes off and becomes very meandering. And my attention wandered with it. It just loses its focus, and by the time it comes back and we hear a full statement or a fuller statement of the Indiana Jones theme, it's like all the zip has been taken out of it. It's less truculent than the original versions. Did this movie and soundtrack even need to exist? Probably not, but it's nice that there's a new John Williams soundtrack on the market. I think it will divide people right down the line in terms of those who love it and those who just find it a bit boring. I didn't find it boring necessarily, just a bit meandering in places. There were some good action bits. The statements of the earlier themes were probably the main thematic highlights here, as opposed to the new materials like Elena's theme. But there was very little here that I wouldn't want to listen to this again, not at all. It's just not a patch on the Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom and Last Crusade. And while we're talking about sequels, what I would say is that this franchise should have ended in 1989 with Last Crusade, because that was kind of, well, the best curtain call for this I didn't like Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, not one bit. And the new material, the darker material for that score, just repulsed me. I didn't like it at all. The Raiders March was the best thing about it. Iconic, immortal, always will be. This was a better effort. Overall, I'd give Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny 3 out of 5 stars. It's not perfect. It occasionally loses its way. There's some nice callbacks to some other of Williams' scores that aren't Indiana Jones. It's an hour and 7 minutes, quite quick. Not bad if you've got nothing better to do with your afternoon. I listen to this on the go on my MP3 player, so yeah, there you go, check it out. For more film and soundtrack reviews, please visit Betty Jo Tucker's website, Real Talk Movie Reviews. On Facebook you can find my pages, Hip-Notic Movie Reviews and Hip-Notic Soundtrack Reviews. I am Rich Jack Smith, thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.